All right, good evening, everybody. I'm super excited to be here tonight with all of you guys, and I get to share something really awesome tonight, and that is what these patches, the X39, is all about and how it has changed so many lives. It looks like this. It's a tiny little sticker, and a little bit about my background. I have been a fitness and health coach for over 25 years. So I make it my business. It's my obsession to find out how we can live the best and the longest lives, okay, and best quality lives. And so when my clients used to ask me, is there a magic pill to lose weight or a magic pill for health? Well, I'm sorry, there's not. And so when my friend Patty brought this to me, I was like, there's no such thing as a magic patch. There's no way that this little sticker could do anything. So it took me quite a while to really take a good look at it, but it took her coming to my house and putting one on me. Now I'm going to tell you, every single person's very different. For me, she put this on the back of my neck, and we were just in the middle of talking about 30 minutes in, and I was like, what is happening to me? I feel so good right now. And it was like I had kind of been in a 3 year fog where I had no motivation, no drive to work. I love learning. So yeah, I was learning all kinds of cool stuff, but I wasn't really socializing. Wasn't getting much done around the house either, and I just didn't want to work. It was the craziest thing. But I put this little thing on, or Patty put it on me, and it was crazy. 30 minutes later, it was as if I was plugged back into the socket. It's like my brain lit back up, my body lit back up, and something just happened and I just felt alive again. And so I was like, oh, well, maybe there is a magic patch, right? Well, actually, it's not magic. There is quite sophisticated technology behind this. And I'm going to explain all about that to you all tonight. So that's just one thing that it's helped me with: energy, sleep, just overall health and wellness. And just a little bit of history of my physical activity. I played a ton of tennis as a teenager. I've been lifting weights for a long time. And yeah, I'm a great trainer and make sure other people don't get injured. But unfortunately, I don't apply all the same rules to myself, and my ego gets into play. So I've had a lot of things happen over the years where my body hasn't been feeling optimal, and injuries and stuff like that. And I can say, wearing this for over a year now, my body feels the best it ever has. So that's what we're going to get into right now. And I'm going to share my screen here and ask you this first question. Have you been patched? If not, that's okay. I'm sure somebody asked you to come on this call and listen to the information because they're very excited about it because they know what's behind this little sticker. And so I'm going to share with you what this sticker actually does, but make sure to go back to the person that had you get on the call and ask them for a patch, or after you hear everything tonight, you're going to want to start the patch right away. So ask them how you can get started. Oh, here we go. All right. So I want to share about our owner, our CEO, the inventor of the patch. He's an incredible man. Um, and so originally these patches, they came about by the military asking David Schmidt to invent a technology for their Navy SEALs who were in the submarines all the time and lacking certain nutrients that you need from daylight and things like that. They were really struggling with, psychological issues, tired, fatigue, anxiety, and things like that. And they were taking all kinds of medications and things that just they're not very good for the body. They were really struggling and they wanted something natural, and that's how these patches were birthed. He created something called phototherapy. So, and I'll explain what that is in just a minute. But this guy's a genius. He has over 200 patents. I don't know about you, but he's the only person that I know that has patents. So that's incredible. He's not a doctor, but a scientist and inventor, and he looks at all the ways that we can optimize our body and live longer, right? age reversing is actually what he specializes in. And in 2008, he really started to focus on stem cell research because he knew that stem cells, basically, they're the foundational cell of everything. And if we don't have those working properly, our bodies can't repair themselves. So that's how he realized that, okay, stem cells will create new tissue, new cells, and everything else in the body. That's how we can age reverse. And $4.5 million later, and a few patents and 10 years, and this beautiful X39 was born. So I'm going to talk to you about especially one patent on this X39 patch. And, a US patent is not just a little piece of paper, that says something. This is a really important piece of document. We have to prove that what we're saying in the patent is actually true. So we have many clinical studies on this patch proving that these things are happening. So I'm just going to read you this paragraph because I think all of it is really important. So, this is what the patch is doing, right? According to at least one embodiment of the invention, which may be worn anywhere on the body. That means you can put this thing on any spot of your body and it works. That causes a beneficial effect by providing phototherapy to the human body as a result of elevating copper peptide, which is one of the most versatile peptides in our body. And as we age, that peptide decreases. So it actually elevates it in your bloodstream. That's pretty crazy. Including activation of stem cells, improvements in energy, elevation of antioxidants, reduction in inflammation. Oh my gosh, every disease these days is linked to inflammation. Management of pain, improvements in stamina, elevation of collagen production, and improvement in wound healing. I mean, as you start to be more involved and hear more people or meet more people wearing these patches, you're going to hear unbelievable stories of things that are happening. So, um, and for me as a fitness professional, I want to make sure there's some credibility behind this. Just, well, yeah, obviously the patent, but we want outside sources telling us that this is something that is of significance, that this is what it is, right? So, LifeWave last year won the Biotech Breakthrough Award on stem cell innovation. So we went up against thousands of companies in 15 different countries, and we won. So this company verifies that we have something that is stimulating and working on your stem cells, which basically can regenerate your body and it turns on your own healing mechanism. That's what stem cells basically do. So how this works, I mentioned phototherapy. So a proprietary, hello, that's a hard word sometimes, form of phototherapy. And I'm going to give you an analogy that you guys have probably heard before or just helps you understand what's happening with this patch. So first of all, inside this little patch, there's these little nanocrystal technology. Okay, this is nothing crazy, creepy. It's salts, little salts and, micro nanocrystals, and they don't go into your body. Okay, they act like a mirror. So your own infrared light, the heat of your body activate this patch. It reflects into the patch and sends a signal to your brain to stimulate that copper peptide that I was talking about. Okay. So the signal you're from wearing the patch, your brain gets a signal to turn on the GHKCU copper peptide, which in turn, it says in the patent, activates dormant stem cells and a lot of other things that I mentioned. Okay. So the sun, right? Everybody knows that if you lay in the sun and the sun hits your skin. Now, some people are under the impression that when you're in the sun and the sun gives you vitamin D, that's actually not the case. The sun sends a signal into your skin, which sends a signal to your brain to start producing more vitamin D. Okay, so this works the same way. So you do not need the sun to wear this patch. A lot of people get confused about this and they ask me way down the road, they're like, well, I didn't get any sun, so the patch can't work. I'm like, no, 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 that's not true. I just gave you an analogy of how the patch works. The patch doesn't need sun. The patch uses your own infrared light to send that signal back into the body. Okay. It's something called non-transdermal, which means nothing is going into your skin. It's completely non-invasive. So people who are on medications, they have no contraindications because nothing's going into the body, which is pretty amazing, right? We're just turning on your own body's healing mechanisms. And here are a couple of the health and wellness benefits from wearing the X39. And this is according to our studies. You're getting optimal health and well-being. So it's really hard to say what the patch is going to do specifically for you, right? Because it's literally just turning on your own healing mechanisms. Your body decides what it's going to work on, right? So we don't know what's going on in your body. I felt it in 30 minutes. Some people will feel it in a couple days, some couple weeks, and then there's even people that take some months, right? Because maybe there's something going on in their body that's very internal, and they can't really feel that. So, optimum health and wellness, which is what most people would like, anyways. Improved exercise performance. I've absolutely experienced that. Improved strength. We actually have a very cool study on that I've read. Improvements in stamina, health and energy flow. And again, there's no drugs or stimulants. So you're just basically turning your body on to do what it's supposed to do. So here, what we're doing is we're achieving optimal health, a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. I definitely, and I say mental because I noticed a lot of mental benefits. Some of the long-term results per the case studies of that we have on a website called thisisitinfo.com, which is all about the X39. 4,000 genes begin to reset. I mean, we all have heard gene expression, oh, this gene is, you have this bad gene and that good gene and whatever. Well, this resets your genes. So, wow, that could have an incredible effect on your body. Brain becomes more balanced. I was just mentioning that, right? Yeah, absolutely. After about 6 weeks of wearing this patch, it felt like a warm blanket came over my brain. I felt a lot less irritable, and I felt this like peace and calmness over me, which was the most incredible feeling. Collagen increases. Listen, we don't just need collagen for our nails and hair and skin, right? I mean, yes, we all want nice hair, nails, and skin, but our joints, our bones, everything in our body, almost everything uses collagen. And so when we have other things that we have breaking down, like our joints, we need that collagen, right? And this is our own collagen. And then the lastly on this list is this incredible, and that is the heart reverses in
Mm.
age. That's incredible. My mother-in-law, who's been on the patch for over a year now, she was convinced, she was going to have to get another stent put in. And she went to the doctor and she texted me in the morning. She's like, just wanted to let you know I'm going in for I have to get a stent. And I was like, oh, wow, that's kind of a bummer. She's been on the patch for a year. Well, guess what? She texts me in the afternoon. She's like, I didn't have to get a stent. And I was like, yes, so it was really cool to hear that. And I just want to say real quick, LifeWave products don't intend to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. And if it might be good for you to talk to your doctor about it. But we're just telling you that this patch can turn things on in your body that haven't been working very well, that can help your body recover and recuperate and rejuvenate. Okay. So how do you wear this X39? Well, remember in the patent, it says you can wear it anywhere. Per the case studies, we have to have congruency. So we either wear it on the base of the neck or below the belly button, which are acupressure points. You wear it for 12 hours on and then 12 hours off, right? So when you have them on, Your body is elevating those peptides, it's activating the things that need to be activated and regenerating. And then for the other 12 hours, when you take it off, your body has to rest and reset and repair and rejuvenate, and the body has to kick in and start working. Um, do you want to share your husband's? I'm here actually with, I forgot to mention this, but Lynn Millette, my sweet leader, is joining me for this presentation tonight. And she's going to share a little bit about her husband's testimony, and then we'll keep going.
Yeah, hi, everybody. I'm so happy to have you guys on board. I know some of you have heard this, and I'm going to be brief with this. And then if you have questions after the presentation, I would be glad to answer those for you. We used to own a business, and so what happened is my husband was in extreme pain. He was pain in his feet and his hands, and he was on a lot of medications, lots of medications, and he also had to have blood taken out every month. So what happened was we were kind of forced to sell our business because he really wasn't able to function at an optimal. We owned a tire store, so he couldn't function. And obviously, I couldn't function at a tire store. They actually called me the Iron Maiden because when he wasn't there, I would try to take over, but didn't work. So, what happened for him, and like I said, I'll be glad to share some of this later, is that he was at the end of the line. He had been to every doctor, he had been to Emory Clinic, he'd been to um, a Mayo Clinic in Florida, neurologist, and whatever. And they just said basically there was nothing else that he could do. He had two pain stimulators that were put in, neither of which worked, and neither of them we could take out. And so what happened is we got a call, and I kind of got a heads up that this person was going to call me. And I thought, oh no, it's one of those things, And I said, no, no. So I just didn't answer. I figured that was the best way. Just don't answer and don't call her back. But finally, my husband said, please call her back. And so I did. And it sounded so incredible, like Lila said, it sounded too incredible. But at some point I thought, what have we got to lose? And it was so inexpensive. So we got on the patch, and we both got on the patch because I heard it was age reversing. So that's why I got on the patch. So we both got on the patch, and it took some time. It took several weeks before he really noticed. And one day we were watching TV and he said, right now I have no pain. And I hadn't heard that in 18 years. So there were other issues with the blood being taken out. He has never had to do that again since for 3.5 years. So if you have questions after this presentation, I'll be glad to answer those for you.
Yeah, and I think it's so incredible how I believe he had to pretty much sell his car because he couldn't drive anymore.
Correct.
And he was in a wheelchair for a while. And like I met him last summer at our convention, and he is walking and he's moving, he's looking great. I mean, he's like a different person, but it's been about 3 years for him, right?
Yeah, 3.5 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Mm.
So time really makes a huge difference here. So for people who would like to, deep dive a little bit more into X39, we have a special website right here called thisisitinfo.com. And basically, it has all the information on the X39 patch. You can find 3 to 4 really short videos right at the beginning. You can find testimonials at the end. There's doctor reviews, and then all the studies are listed there as well, the information and patents. So feel free to take a good look at that. I want to share a little bit about this company because For me, when I realized what this was, when I truly got it, when I looked at the information and I got it, I was like, wow. I mean, everybody really needs this because we all age, and I don't know if you guys know, but by age 30, we only have half of our stem cells working, and by age 60, we have almost no stem cells working. So that's why we're breaking down and not repairing. So I thought, well, everyone needs to know about this, right? And then I just started sharing it with people because I want other people to feel their best. That's why I do what I do in health and fitness. It's my goal to help people live their best life and feel their best. So I knew that this could make a huge difference for them. And let me tell you, I have a bunch of clients who've seen unbelievable results. But I wasn't like, I didn't really want to make this official, like a side business for me until I learned more about the company. I had been part of companies before just because I was a personal trainer and people were always asking me what supplements and I wanted to make sure they got good quality. But some of those companies were newer and didn't stick around. And, that messed things up for me and my clients a lot. But this company's been around for almost 21 years now. Okay. So that's a long track record, and they are only getting better and thriving. As you can see, in 2021, we only had $20 million in sales. And then very quickly, the patch came out, I believe, around 21 or 22. And this patch specifically has seen such amazing results that it really made this company boom. And then we also are part of a pretty amazing team that teaches people how to share this. We have a system in place where we don't really have to do the work or the talking or explaining. And we just plug into that system, and they have taken the company to almost $1 billion, which is pretty incredible. So, and we have won,
Mm.
we are now ranked number one for momentum, and that's 2 years in a row. That's incredible. So that I decided, well, I want to share this with everybody. So I have aligned myself with LifeWave, and I make it my business to know who they are and what they are doing for everybody. And it's absolutely incredible. So I thought I wanted to share real quick, when you ask the question, what's important in your life? I had to ask myself that question as well. And so I knew that, I love what I do in health and fitness, training clients, but that's always trading time for money. And I wanted to see if I could build a little bit of residual income on the side as well. And also, I personally didn't, if I don't have to pay for my patches, that would be great. So I'm helping people, but I don't have to pay for the patches. So think about this question real quick. What's important in your life? Do you want better health? I think most people want better health. Do you want to feel your best? Family time? Do you want to have time with your family? Security, travel, less debt? With this company, with LifeWave, you have a choice where you get to share these patches with your friends and family. And I bet you any money, while I was sitting here talking about the patch and what it's done for me and just, the information, you thought of a couple people that could definitely use the patch, right? So that's basically all we do. We share with people what this patch is all about, and great if they're interested and want to get to use the patch, then we share with them how to do that. And so you have a choice to get your patches paid for or make a little bit of extra income, but we also have a lot of people that make this a full-blown business and create unbelievable income with it. And that's one of the reasons Lynn Millette is going to share a little bit more about that part of the business, about the opportunity to create some income, because she has owned a traditional business and she just mentioned what they went through and how they had to sell the business and didn't have many options. So she's going to share a little bit more about the business and how that has helped them create security for their future.
Okay, thank you. As Lila said, we did own a conventional business. Actually, we've owned several businesses. My husband has owned several tire stores. That was not my dream business, but it was his dream business. So most people are waiting for an opportunity. Okay, they're waiting for an opportunity for better health, or maybe to make a little extra money. But the opportunity rarely arrives by accident. Usually it's someone that you care about, someone that you have been on their heart, somebody that's thinking of you. That's usually how an opportunity arrives. So I want you to think about the person that invited you tonight. They were thinking about you. And isn't that wonderful? So a conventional business we had has very high startups, high risk, long hours. We were open 7 to 7 and we commuted an hour to get there. It was a trial and error business, even though we had been in business before, and my husband was very knowledgeable. It still is trial and error because we were in a new location. So I wasn't interested in the business when I was interested in getting my husband in better health, and then eventually my granddaughter in better health. So you don't know what God is sending you. But let me tell you that at our age, when we had to sell and get rid of our business, I thought, a little extra income could really make a difference in our life. So we didn't have to have any kind of big money to start this business. It had a money back guarantee and a 20-year track record. So the market, depending on what you're in, I mean, every market is oversaturated. If you're with tires, you have every kind of tire in the world and every competition in the world. Um, we chose a company with our Goodyear store because it was reputable and it was knowledgeable. So it was very important to us once we really saw the benefits of the product. And that's the only reason we were here. And this might be you too. But once we saw the benefits of the product, we got to start knowing about the company and the patents and the technology. And we just couldn't believe it. It was so amazing. And we had all of that at our fingertips for free. So, how you share the product is really up to you. Um, we didn't intend to, but what happens is when you have something great, a great restaurant, a great movie, or whatever, you're going to share it. So, what you're going to do is you're probably thinking about someone that you know and probably someone that you know that needs the product, because that's how it kind of starts out. And then maybe someone you know that needs to make a little extra income. That happens too. So once you start thinking about your family, your aunt, your uncle, or whatever, and you share it with them, you're going to create business volume. And the business volume that you create, the company is going to reward you with some income. And the more business volume you create, the more income you have. We didn't pay people for recommending our Goodyear store at all, but we sure appreciated all the word of mouth business. So here you're creating word of mouth with your family and friends, usually first. And what you're going to do is share an amazing product and opportunity and start a right team and a left team. We're going to build in teams, and we'll describe that a little bit more. And then you kind of rank up as you create points. It's like any other business that you have. The more volume you create, a little bit more money that you make. So this is really something that they just created. The company is all about helping you pay for your product. You may not want to pay for your product, but you know what? We ended up with my 2.5-year-old granddaughter on the product, my son on the product, my husband on the product, and me on the product. So I thought, this sounds pretty good. Maybe I wouldn't mind paying for the product. So they launched a bonus that when you first get started, you can make quite a bit of money, $25 a week for 8 weeks or $50 a week for 8 weeks, plus additional income for helping people get started. So the mentor matching bonus. This is really the key to any business. Okay. I don't care what kind of business you have. You have to have a mentor. The person that introduced you to the patch, for whatever reason they introduced you, is considered your mentor. We also have a team of mentors. We have Cindy and Jens, we have Gina and Steve, we have the people that are on this call, and we're here to help mentor you. And by mentoring you, you're going to be sharing with other people. And in the beginning, you're probably going to say, well, I don't know what to say, or I don't know what to do. That's why we have these. You can just send them one of these Zooms. You can call the person that shared this with you. You can get somebody on the phone. I didn't know anything about this. I really didn't. And I didn't think I wanted to until I did. So the mentor matching, you don't go back. The mentor matching bonus is going to create levels. So the people that you say you get your aunt involved, and your aunt gets her cousin involved, and her cousin gets somebody else involved. Do you see how that referral marketing is starting to create volume? So each person that you get involved is business volume. And each person they get involved is business volume. And I don't know of another company that does this, but you can go to six people down and you're still going to get a percentage of all that business volume. So this is near and dear to our hearts since we did own a Goodyear store. Um, I always say, would you like to have 1% of your business? I mean, would you like to have 100% of your business or 1% of 100 people? So if you have 1% of 100 people, guess what? You're not doing quite as much work. We had 100% of what we did when we had a Goodyear store. And my husband's goal was to duplicate that Goodyear store and open more. The problem with that system is that that costs a lot of money. I mean, it's like $500,000 to open a Goodyear store. With this business, you're just automatically going to duplicate yourself. We have a system that has been provided for us. We have everybody that comes on board, they get a free website. Everything is done, and you're going to duplicate yourself because you can't help yourself, because you're going to duplicate yourself by sharing it. So you should probably received one of these. Either you have received one of these or you will. It's our application, and we have several choices. And I like this because you can choose where you want to be in this business. So anything that I say to you or anything that Lila said is all your choice. And I like that. So there are several packages. The premium package, I believe, is the best package because instead of paying $150 retail for a product, you can buy the product for $87. And so my husband and I like that option. We were business owners. We wanted to save the money. We knew that we were probably going to help people because people are going to see his improvement, which is what happened. So we had a lending library. So we had a lot of patches. We had 20 patches, 20 sleeves. There are 30 patches in a sleeve for those of you who are new. And that is one patch a day for 30 days. So you have 20 sleeves of patches. And we developed a little lending library. My neighbor came over and said, our last name's Millette. He said, Millette, what are you doing? Look at you. What's happening? Well, guess what? We got to loan him a sleeve of patches until his came in. He actually ordered six months of patches because he couldn't believe my husband. So you can get that package. The next package is $9.75, and then the six sleeves is $5.35. And maybe you can only do the core. Maybe it's just one person and you can only get in for $2.95. That gives you 3 months worth of patches. So you have patches for yourself and you have patches for your lending library. And then if you're going to build a business, then you would want to be on a subscription because that's going to create and keep your business volume. We also have an option, a retail option. You can buy the product retail or you can buy it as a preferred customer. And the person that introduces to you would be glad to explain that to you. The good news about this is that, so let's say you really could only afford the 295. You can just bump up to any of the other options, and all you do is pay the difference. And then you also get the product at a cheaper price. So as Lila said, we have this is it info. when we did own the Goodyear store, we had a website that we had to have. It was mandatory. Nothing in this business is mandatory. But we have a website of information that's free, that's been set up for you. We have thisisitteam.com. We had to pay thousands of dollars for our Goodyear website. This is free for you. If you want to learn more about sharing with people, then you might want to go to This Is It team. They have videos on what to say and how to say it. And, like I said, this is all your option, whatever you want to do. So now's the time to make your move. Um, we made our move because we had to. What's your motivation? Are you dreaming? Now we have dreams. My husband, who couldn't drive, who sold his car, just bought a sports car. Um, he just bought me a new car for my birthday. So we thought our dreams had expired, to be honest with you. And when we found this product, we only were looking at the product, but what we found is it has ignited many, many dreams for us. So I want you to take a look at your life and what maybe it's difficult to dream because a lot of it is, but what is your dream? What do you want? What would you like out of this opportunity? And it has everything. So I don't know if there's another slide. Um, the disclaimer, yeah, we're not going to make any claims. We don't know what your work ethics are. We can't tell you what you're going to do. All we know is that we have had a blast. And like I said, we have replaced our Goodyear income and we were retired. We didn't know we couldn't do that with Social Security. So it has been really fun. And we have a lot of things coming up. We have on Wednesday, oh, I didn't know that disclosure statement. So on Wednesday we have Power 30 and Patty Neely is going to do that for you and us. And we're going to talk about how to make money. There are several ways in this business to make money, and we're going to share that with you. It's going to be really exciting. So I hope if you're available Wednesday at noon, I just put that link on Telegram. Please join us and have some friends because we sit there and we talk and we hashtag and we do all of those things. Also, next week on next Monday, uh, um, Sandy and Donnie Marr, which are Cindy's sister. Gina's her sister, but Sandy and Donnie are executives in the business, and they have offered to do this Monday night call for us. And so we're going to continue having these calls on Monday night, hopefully just for a few minutes, 30 minutes, bring people there. They can hear about the product and they can hear about the opportunity because some people do need that too.
Thank you, Lynn. That was awesome. What an amazing testimony from your husband, and then also just for your business. That's incredible. And I just wanted to say, whoever sent you the information about the patch, make sure you get back to them tonight, fill out the
Mhm.
form and get started. You have nothing to lose, just like Lynn said, right? They were at the end of their rope. Like nothing bad can happen, but only really amazing things can happen. So take a chance, get that order form back to your friend, and give this a real chance. I'm gonna turn off the recording.